Listen, reselling is not like it used to be. I get it. But does that mean that you still can't make money? Absolutely not. If you love the thrill of the hunt, but you're struggling with keeping up with the onslaught of new platforms, the fee changes, sourcing, listing, photographing, shipping, and the competition of new resellers popping up every other day, then don't worry, I am here to help. In today's video, I am going to share 10 ways that you can make money from your reselling business, and spoiler alert, it's not all from simply selling. First things first, I'm sure if you're watching this, you're aware of what reselling is, but if by chance you're not, I want to define what I mean by reselling. Simply put, reselling is the act of buying goods or services with the intention of selling them for a profit rather than using them yourself. Now that we understand what reselling is and you have some inventory to work with, let's talk about ways to accomplish what we all want to do with this job: make some damn money. First, let's start with the obvious. Reselling items yourself on reputable reselling platforms. This is going to be selling on platforms like eBay, Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, Depop, and I'm sure there's more that I'm missing. But this is probably going to be the first step you're going to want to take when getting into reselling, because all you need is some inventory to list, a phone to photograph them with, and an account on some of these platforms. But I did want to discuss a few pros and cons of reselling this way. Pros, I just mentioned a few, but there's a low barrier to entry, a small learning curve, learning the ropes of each different platform, how to list, photograph, craft searchable listings. But it is fairly straightforward, and there is a ton of A to Z blogs and YouTube videos on how to do this. There are also a few cons. Listing, shipping, everything that comes along with selling items yourself is very time consuming, and it can be a lot for some people. So don't worry if that method doesn't work for you. There are so many other ways that you can make money with reselling. Reselling to buy, sell, trade stores. Buy, sell, trade stores, or as you'll often hear them referred to in the reselling community as just BST stores, are places like Buffalo Exchange, Crossroads, Plato's Closet. There's a bunch of them. And with this type of selling, unlike waiting for your payments from third-party platforms or waiting for items to sell, like our next category, consignment, you're gonna get money right then and there. However, there are some caveats to this. Number one, they're not always gonna take what you bring in. Most BST stores are very curated and selective, so you need to meet the standards of what that particular store is looking for. For example, right now, this is what Crossroads is looking for. So if you bring in some 16th century Italian pantaloons, chances are they're probably not going to take it. But this method of selling is great if you're looking to liquidate older inventory, or if you have free stuff, meaning like your own clothing or stuff from family and friends, or very cheap inventory from the Goodwill bins or the swap meet. It can be a great way to turn a quick profit. So the good part about this is you are getting money up front, so you can get some cash flow into your business. The flip side is, like we mentioned, they're not going to take everything that you bring in. And since this is buy, sell, trade, the cash payout that they offer you is often going to be less than what the trade-in credit would be. For example, Crossroads will give you 30% in cash, or they'll give you 50% in store trade-in credit. So if this method sounds appealing to you, then check your local buy-sell trade stores' buying guides and policies to see if this will work for you. Consignment. You can either be the consignee or the consignor. I feel fancy saying. So if you are the consignee, essentially you're going to want to start telling people that you're taking on consignment clients. Start with family and friends. This is such a good way to get inventory at no upfront cost to you. You can get your inventory from whoever you want and work out a deal with them on what the consignment window will be, meaning how long you will have it for, and what the split will be. Just to keep it simple, let's say you tell them, hey, I'm taking on consignment clients now. I'll list whatever you want to give me for 60 days on all of my platforms. If something below $100 sells, I will take 60% and I will give you 40. If something over $100 sells, I will give you 60 and I will keep 40. Or whatever deal that you want to work out and that you and your client can decide is beneficial to the both of you. That's really up to you. And trust me, a lot of people do not want to list things themselves, but they do want to get a little something for whatever they have before they just go off and donate it. I almost said donut it. If you are the consignor, you are basically the one sending in the inventory to the consignee. Think places like ThredUp and The RealReal. Those are online consignment shops. Now, the downside to this way is you're not going to get money up front. With consignment, you only get paid if and when something sells. I have personally been really loving ThredUp lately. Check out these 2 recent payouts that I got on Armani pieces. Armani is basically dead to me on every other platform, but it does very, very well on ThredUp for whatever reason. By the way, if you're interested in learning more about my ThredUp strategy, there will be a link in the description to my ThredUp guide. You can either sign up for the waiting list or there will be a link to download, depending on when you're watching this. Now back to the video. Selling on social media. I don't do TikTok, so I can't speak about TikTok Shop, although I know a lot of people are having success over there. I am an older millennial and I just can't get into TikTok. Don't come for me. Not my thing. So I'm going to speak about Instagram because that's where I have the biggest following and that is where I am the most. So here are a few ways that you can make sales with your reselling business on Instagram. Number 1 is with stories. You can post your items directly onto your stories and ask people to pay you directly through Venmo or Zelle. Zelle? That's my Texas coming out, okay? Number 2 is creating reels. You can make reels showcasing your items and link people to your Poshmark, your eBay, or even your own website where they can purchase from there. Number 3 is setting up your own shop where people can buy directly on Instagram. Number 4 is going live on Instagram. We're going to talk about this a little bit more in the next tip, so make sure to stick around for that. Comment link. So this is an automation service that a lot of people use. I use it. It's called Mini Chat, and you can essentially post something like this reel I did showing people how to make the soles of sneakers white again, and you can command people to post a keyword in the comments. I told people to post the word yellow, and I would DM them a link. Not I, but the service will automatically DM them a link to the products that I used in that reel, and I will make a commission if anybody actually buys something. Live selling. This method of selling is absolutely booming right now. With the introduction of platforms like Whatnot, and then even the behemoths like eBay and Poshmark are now putting it on their platforms, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I have personally yet to try it, but I have some friends like Katie Co and eBay Princess who are absolutely crushing it in this space, and I mean millions of dollars in sales. It is a great way to move inventory in volume very, very quickly. If you're not familiar with what live selling is, it's exactly what it sounds like. You're streaming live and you're showing your items for a few seconds at a time, maybe 5 or 10 seconds, and the buyers bid on your item and the highest bidder will win that item. It's really a throwback to the early eBay days where you're doing the auctions, except it's got a little bit of a modern twist. Typically, you will get less money this way than you would if you sold each single item individually. However, you have to look at the big picture of this. You can make $1,000, $2,000 in one stream in an hour, whereas selling each individual item and having to list it on multiple platforms could take months to sell, and you make a little bit more, but you gotta weigh the pros and the cons of this one here. This space is not going to be for everybody either. Personally, I am not a very regimented and structured person. I'm working on it, okay? I'm working on it. It's one of my weaknesses, and the idea of just going live every day and building that community and having a schedule for that is not very appealing to me. It's like creating a job that I don't want. I don't want to have to do something like that every single day. But you know what? Maybe I would like it. Have you guys tried it? Should I try it? I'm open to feedback on this because it could be fun. And actually, speaking of, Whatnot and Jamble have both reached out to me to sell on the platforms, but maybe if the price is right. Just kidding, I kid. Wholesaling. You can wholesale to other resellers and other retailers. This is great if you love the sourcing part, the shopping, the thrifting, the digging, the hunting, the going to the bins every day and finding treasures. But then you get super overwhelmed when you realize all of the work that goes into listing and shipping and just selling the items yourself. And so you just end up with this pile of stuff that's taller than Mount Everest, and you're like, oh my God, what am I doing? Then this could be a really great way for you to make some money. My friends Sean and Bethany over at Trash Pandas Thrift, they're awesome by the way, they make great content, have made an amazing 6-figure business out of doing exactly this. Wholesaling to other resellers and to buy, sell, trade, and consignment stores. So what you're going to have to remember is, firstly, not every reseller is going to have access to good inventory. Let's say maybe they live in a small town and there's only one thrift store, or they work a 9 to 5 and they can't get out to source very often, or any number of things like that. Reach out to people on social media and tell them that you are a wholesaler and you're interested in supplying inventory for them. Try to work out a deal. And then the same thing goes for the consignment and the buy sell trade stores. Then that way you get to do the fun part, the shopping, which is everybody's favorite part, without having to go through and sell each individual item on your own. Content creation. What do you think we're doing here? Posting content about reselling. There are a lot of resellers on YouTube and Instagram, and I'm sure TikTok, but I don't really do that, so I don't know. But I started posting content about reselling about 3 or 4 years ago on Instagram by just posting my thrift hauls and my finds. And as I got more comfortable and got more experienced in the space, then I started posting a little bit more tips and tricks. I've built up my Instagram audience to close to 40,000 followers now, and I get offered deals from brands to create content for them, which pays money. Same goes for YouTube. I recently got monetized on YouTube, and although it's very small and very early phases, it is the beginning of a new revenue. I literally can't talk today. It is the beginning of a new revenue source for me. Give it a shot. I promise you. Just do it. That's what I'm doing. Affiliate links. Affiliate links are simply links that are used to promote a product or service. And the affiliate, meaning you or me, will receive a commission on each sale or click. They'll usually have some sort of unique ID in the URL that will link you back as the affiliate of that product. Let me show you an example. In the description of this video, I have a few links to services and products I use and recommend to all of my viewers. If somebody happens to click on those links and make a purchase, I'll get a small kickback. This is so easy to do. It's completely free. You don't need to be an influencer or anything like that or have a big following. And trust me, most companies are going to offer some sort of affiliate program because why wouldn't they? They're not paying anything up front, and they only pay a small fee to the affiliate if a sale goes through. It's free marketing. It's really a win-win for the company and the affiliate and you as a reseller, so get on this, guys. Courses and guides. Courses tend to get a lot of hate, but it is a great way to learn. And people who are packaging up their knowledge and expertise into a concise format to share with others should not be free. People's time and your time is valuable, and it is a limited resource. So if somebody is spending it mastering a craft or a space like reselling, then they should charge for it. Now, if you don't want to create a full-on course, I totally get that. But in that case, selling guides, something like learning how to purchase liquidation pallets, that can be very daunting. So somebody who's done that and can give you the steps, that's worth paying for. Or for example, a BOLO guide, somebody who's really in the know on their brands. BOLO means be on the lookout, which comes from the police, but you'll often hear it in the reselling community, and that's what it stands for. So somebody who knows all of that stuff can create a BOLO guide, and you can buy that and be ahead of the game. And I may or may not be working on a BOLO guide, so if you're interested in that, I will have a link in the description for you to sign up for the waiting list. Consulting and/or coaching. This can be anything on coaching others how to set up their own reselling business, or going over their numbers and seeing where they can improve. Are their cost of goods too high? Are they not listing enough inventory? Are they not pricing correctly? Stuff like that. Or you could do something as simple as closet consultations, going over their listings, seeing where they can improve in that way. Do they need better photos? Do they need more SEO-friendly titles and listing descriptions? You get the idea. Or it could be something like offering a Patreon subscription to share your own sales data and go over your numbers and answer questions that people may have for you. Or something as specific as if you are a luxury reseller or you are a sneaker reseller, offering a Patreon subscription to that where other people want to get into that space. You're essentially charging for your knowledge and your expertise. Reselling is not a one-size-fits-all job. There are so many ways to source and sell your inventory and just ways to make money from this job in general. It's a whole new world, guys, and I hope I gave you some ideas that you may or may not have thought of before and ways to expand your business and your offerings. If you found this video valuable, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And if you want even more tips, then check out this video right over here. I'll see you guys next time.